Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Juma.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Karibu sana. Ian,
Edi aje,
fiti sana mambo.
habari ya asubuhi.
Mzuri sana.
Nakuwa ni Juma, huko kumeanza kunyesha, hakuna network. Kuna
Mimi niko holiday bado, niko ziara zangu, so siko kwa hao ndio maana.
Mtu amejipea vacation hapa, mtu amejipea vacation vya.
Angelas, good morning. Hope umekuwa na usiku mwema. Karibu. Welcome for our daily analysis. Then tuanze kwanza the calendar. So jana on Wednesday we had the card news. BOC walikuwa wanaongea, then GBP pia tulikuwa na monetary policy walikuwa wanaongea pia. Then today on Thursday September 9 tuko na euro tutakuwa na monetary policy pia. And let me change my time kwanza ingie Nairobi. So monetary policy tu ni the same thing kama jana walikuwa wanaongelea tu simply ni rates, alafu pia wanaangalia the level of inflation kwa the country pia. Alafu unajua tu ni hiyo ni bank committee tu peke yake, like it is just a committee Kenya wanakuja pamoja. Pia wanaongeleanga like mostly wanaongeleanga tu like the economy of the country sana. Hapa hivi pia tukiangalia like the information wametuachia hapo, so more hawkish than expected is good for the currency. So ukisikia hawkish during the time wanatumianga. So why traders care? It is the primary tool for the European Central Bank uses to communicate with investors about monetary policy. It contains the outcome of the decision on interest rates and most importantly it is outcome of future decisions. Europe tu kabisa, like monetary policy actually ni watu like wanakanga like yeye ndio wanasimamianga the bank kama bank, yani Central Bank of Kenya pia wanakuwa na this committee. With this committee ndio wanaongeleanga sana kuhusu interest rates, inflation rates, hizo vitu, government bonds pia na government yields, bank yields. Kuna euro pia tutakuwa naongojea tena the European Central Bank press conference. So their president pia mkubwa wao, the ECB president and vice president watakuwa naongea. So let's wait for that. Hiyo itakuwa inafanyika 3:30 pm, but the monetary policy inatoka 2:45 pm Kenyan time by the way. So tukiona card itakuwa na BOC pia government Maclem speaks. They scale by the way. This is the first time pia anapatana na hii. So why do we care? Ni governor Bank of Canada, governor Tiff Macklem. Jana by the jana walikuwa naongea pia. So why traders care? As head of the central bank which controls short-term interest rates, he has more influence over the nation's currency value than any other person. Traders scrutinize his public engagements as they are often used to drop, like umsendi yako na nguvu sana hadi kwa pesa kuliko the president of that nation. Like yeye anaongelea, yani yeye ndo governor wa bank kabisa, yeye ndo ana control pesa yote ya Bank of Canada. So Kendi, Sheila, welcome. Tutakuwa na take you for today. So leo tunangoja the euro and the card watakuwa na news, like the major news kabisa Kenya itakuwa inamovisha the markets ni euro and the card. Kitu kama USD kuna that year bond action, lakini that is the middle impact. Pia tuko na unemployment claims, crude oil inventories pia itakuwa inatoka, like those are just medium impact. So tutaanza kwanza na euro USD on the daily. kutokea hapa hivi juu where we found that like the shooting star where tukaanza kupata like the hammer pia ndo tulianza the drop. So hii siku ndo ilitupea like the first drop where the market actually imekuwa ikidrop since then. Jana pia imekuwa a more bearish day, lakini leo nimeona like tena leo wameamka wakiendanga. So let us look at the 4 hour. So for me primarily ninaona like tukirudi hapa ndani, but the market actually imekuwa tu ikirange hapa hivi, imekuwa on some sort of range. Baadaye tumekuwa na this channel kenye tumekuwa tukikuja nayo, but unakumbuka like tulikuwa tuna target our first place huko juu, which tulikuwa tuna hit na Juma tulihit. So the market can retrace more, so the market ilikuwa inafaa hold because of this higher low like this was the previous. Napata like market tulikuwa tunapanda tukimake higher highs na higher lows, higher highs na higher lows. So when we reached up, we know like we made a higher high up, even though to retrace these higher lows and made that higher high. Like the market came back breaking down that position, like tumeanza kuteremka chini. So my primary target ilikuwa at up with 1.17927 before niangalia anything. If we break this point again, we will be going down for this one, like this low up hivi chini, which finally me no like hit that point. But by my outlook from the market, actually the market sahi ni naweza sema baada ya this movement actually ndio tulipata like on the daily tunapata ni some big shadows candle, like tunapata some bearish movement over the previous 2 days imekuwa so bearish. So ni kumaanisha like this market imekuwa ikidrop. For today ninaona like imenipea like this candlestick formation pia kenye inanipea hapa ni more like inanipea. So let me delete this, which this is an Arami cross, which this is a Arami cross because nitaita an Arami cross because like we get like a very bearish session, like the session first is so bearish, then we get a doji. So like inakuwa like this pattern ikutanisha pamoja inakuwa an Arami cross. The next candle hapo even like unaona like this is more much of a high wave candle, lakini a high wave candle pia tunaangalia like the positioning, like this one is a high wave candle hapa juu, like unaangalia like the position ya hiyo high wave candle ilifanyika on an uptrend, like ilifanyika on top of an uptrend. So a high wave candle kama hiyo itakuwa inaonyesha like there is more of supply and demand at that zone, na actually tunapata like there is more supply hapa hivi juu, so like inafaa kushort chini sasa. So a series tukipatana na Rami cross, na Rami cross tu ina signifying like the market is going to change, lakini inakuanga like tunapatanga a more clear signal baada ya Rami cross. So tungesema like tungepata a more clear bullish signal hapo hivi, tungesema the market has reversed. Lakini sasa tukiangalia like what the market is actually doing side ina form like small bodied candles. Hebu angalia for example kama hapa, this is still an high wave candle. Ukiangalia like ni a small bodied candle, ukiangalia the body ni bearish session, lakini the bears actually closed, like the bears won this session, lakini unaangalia like the bulls actually wanajaribu kupush this market up higher kiasi. But I got this one kwangu like this is the channel kenye tuliingia ndani jana. So actually on the 1 hour tu simply ninaona like inakuja tu tunajaribu kurudi to that zone, like tunapata the market inajaribu kuhammer in tupata new signal ya kwenda juu, but actually the market bado inacheza hapo. So naweza sema sasa this market is actually currently on a range. So naweza sema it is on this range primarily tu peke yake ni naweza sema that is for me because these candlesticks actually inanipea small bodied candlesticks. Small bodied candlesticks tu inamaanishanga like the market actually inakosa orientation ya kusonga juu, tunataka like a movement in price sana sana. So for me I'll be watching out for this place at 1.7927 kwanza, hiyo itakuwa our first support because this is where we actually tulikuwa na bullish engulfment for this place, na pia tumekuwa tukiuza hii market. So Euro USD actually is still a watch out because this candlestick hapa hivi chini ni support. Anybody yako na any question on Euro USD? Mali, welcome.
Hapo niko sawa.
So unasema
Angela uko sawa?
Hapo niko sawa.
So unasema hapo tutakuwa tunaenda chini ama tutakuwa tunabuy like in the long run after tumepita hii trend line umechora hapa chini?
This trend line hapa hivi. So that trend line for me, hii trend line ndio actually the bullish one. Ukiangalia like more so tumekuwa ilikuwa the bullish. kwenda juu, like tulikuwa tuna drop, ilikuwa the bullish, ndio tukakuja tukatoka hapa hivi. Nakumbuka jana Juma ukiniambia like we wait for it to hit this place ndio tutafute retracement back.
Yes.
Like so this market ilikuja ika this trend line. Actually I was waiting for the market actually to come up turudi nayo juu, but you get like the market actually kitu ilikuja ikafanya ni ika break below that point, ili break below that trend line though actually tunapata size small bodied candlesticks, lakini ukiangalia like this candlesticks aina like kama ukiangalia like the previous 4 hour tu inatuformia a gravestone rods, lakini sasa ukiangalia like hizi inajaribu tukishatoka out of this rami cross actually if the market itafall yani below this rami cross, because an rami cross tu inanipeanga like an indication kama the market actually might be changed. Like unapata this body ni inaonyesha like there are more sellers in this market, but sasa kupata this doji inatuonyesha like baada hiyo sellers actually the market imekosa orientation by meaning that hii cross inamaanisha tu simply kuna indecision baada hiyo market kupita hapo. Yaani sasa kupata highway candles kama hizi na tena tunapata gravestone doji hapo hivi inamaanisha like this market actually. Alafu tena kuna news like the euro iko na news tena, so like hizo news pia itakuwa ina confirm how this place itakuwa ina hold. Lakini for me nikiangalia na weeks like the weeks kuangalia like the upper weeks hii market imekata kabisa ku hold up haya, like the market ukiangalia like once this is the first time inakata kukuja juu, the second time inakata kukuja juu, the third time inakata kukuja juu, the fourth time pia inakuja juu lakini haifungi juu. Like hii market wakikujanga tu hadi hapa juu somewhere hapo hivi unapata like there are a lot of sellers at that zone, like sellers tu wanauza like buyers wanajaribu kuingia that zone wanatolewa, wanaingia wanatolewa, so at last hii market ita give in tu. So to me nitakuwa naona like niingie more like nikuwe na buyer side tukishatoka out of that rami cross, na pia niingie more on the seller side tukishatoka out of this rami cross kwa hapa.
So for me I have two scenarios. Sijui kama naweza share screen yangu.
Share.
On this one, for me I'm thinking first of all in 4 hours chart you can still see that we are holding above. If you are talking about price action, we are still holding above this area. This is our main buyer. This is the guy who initiated all this buy. Up to there we are cool. From there, this guy was unable to reach this point easily, but doesn't mean he's dead. And especially he's not dead because he's not yet reached this area of support. Sijui kama unaona hii area of support. Kuna some area of support hapa. Now, when we look, because most of the times we use the recent past, this is the recent past, which we've not reached to the downside. And once we reach this area to the downside, we'll be looking for maybe sells to try and breach this area and retest this area. But before we do that, we're still in a very bullish market. If you're in a seller's market, we still expect to get some sort of resistance so that we can get our entries. Otherwise, selling right now will be a bad decision since there is a movement already done. So we'll be getting in a bit too late, and we do not want to sell when the prices are already very low. Sijui kama tunaelewana hapo.
Yeah.
So according to me, we must retest this price a little bit before we come down again. And even if we continue with the buys, we still go a little bit higher and get some candles to get some red candles. That is the bears candles before we get in again to buy and retest the same price before we even go higher. So that is it for the USD. For me, for the EU, that is what I'm thinking. Yeah, you can share your screen.
So the next currency pia tuangalie the GBP USD. GU jana tulikuwa na news for GBP. Tulikuwa we were talking about your bank. On this pair, actually we were targeting the highest point, but tulikuja tukapata some resistance at this zone. So we found resistance at this zone upper June. Like you can see where this market actually came and got a resistance actually was the previous point where actually the market was trying to breathe. Like when we from this move from all the way down okay, hapa chini yote this move yote kwenda juu tulikuwa tunajaribu ku breathe this point. If we breach this point, actually we're targeting more of this point than up above the highest point actually the market can ever reach again. But as you can see, like this market, the highest point here, this is still an high wave candle because when you hear me saying like an high wave candle is a candle that shows that there is like you can see like when a trend is going up like tunakuja juu like buyers wanakuja na nguvu pia sellers wanaweza kuwa naenda na nguvu kwenda down below but these candlesticks actually its formation simply to the candlestick must contain like a upper and a lower shadow and the shadows actually should be long. So by shadows I mean a wick. So the wick is actually here, it is a long one. This means actually the buyers went some time up above this place, then at the same period again the sellers took the market, but actually you can see that the market, so this market actually it shows, these candles shows mostly like the supply and demand in the market. So like for now you can see like here the bulls and the bears actually are still striving for them, like the bulls are taking the price up higher, the bears are actually taking the price down. So ukiona like this one in a market actually it shows you the like jeopardy, there's jeopardy in the market, like the trend is actually going to be over. Like this was all the uptrend coming this point, but you can see like these are our strong resistance point all the way from this. The markets tried to go up but got some small bodies, now came up, got a spinning top, some small bodies got an hanging man, now the market drops down. But as you can see what the market did actually from that point, it came back to retest this point here. So by retesting I actually mean that the market tries to come back that zone, with this zone is actually here where we get the resistance actually and the market now goes down. As you can see we break this point. A market by the way goes up making a series of higher highs and higher lows. So if you've seen an uptrend simply just breaking out, like if we are in a downtrend we go on a downtrend on a series of lower lows and lower highs. If you are going on an uptrend actually you are going to make a series of higher highs and higher lows. Like you can see over here these markets went up by actually making a series of higher highs and higher lows, broke that low but came up, broke that high, came down a little bit, went up, now it came down, then finally it went to the highest point. As you can see, if we are going to break any point, we want to break these lows. Like this is the first low, this is the second low. So if we are going down, actually, let us break these lows. Like for the first point, like you look at what the market is actually doing. It came down, but actually didn't close. It came down, close below this point first, then came down. By the way, I highlighted this point yesterday because of this shooting star. A shooting star is a candlestick that we get, like you can call it even an inverted armor. Like when you see like an armor is a pattern, is a bullish candle, is like a candlestick. Like for example, like this is not an armor, but the anatomy actually looks like this one. But this is now an inverted armor. You can call it a shooting star. This actually shows there was a lot of resistance at this point up above it. From there, actually, you can see what the market was trying to do. We got another shooting star from that point, got a bearish and move. But actually, this time it came and broke away from that point. But the market came and closed below this point. From there, actually, yesterday the market came down, but this low, we got lows. Actually, we were hunting as we are going down. Actually, we are hunting some lows, and if we were selling the market, we are selling. I had someone calling them blocks, but let us just, you can call them lows because the market went making higher lows. And this point here low. So if the market came down for the first point, like you can see what the market actually came and did, bounce off from this place. So this shows that this is more of a support zone. Like the market, if you see from the 1 hour perspective. So guys, if you are not using your mic, please can you mute it. But if you have any question, you can please ask. Please ask. Don't just.
So for me, Ian.
Yeah.
You can hear me.
Yeah.
Let me share my screen kindly. I think it will be easier that way.
Sure.
For me, this market is still bullish as long as we're holding above this guy.
Yeah.
Just like we said in the EU.
Yeah.
At the first, you can see that they tried to retest this area, but the price was rejected very quickly, leaving us with a very big wick. Right?
Yeah, that means there are a lot of bulls at that point.
Yes. So what we'll do, we'll be looking for buys, but we're not looking buys at a higher price. We're looking for the buys at a lower price. So our first area that we might be looking for the buys will be right here. This is the area that we'll be looking for the buys. And the other one will be right where the wick did reach. So we will be buying at this area. And if we do breach this bar to the downside, then we'll not be looking for any buys in that market. However, we'll be looking to challenge this price, which is very unlikely but possible. But that is what we'll be doing, because we cannot just kill the buyers that easily, but it is still very possible depending on the news and everything that we have in the market. So our first target will be to see whether we'll be able to get into this price and buy. So the other scenario is the market might not go lower than this, which is very unlikely, might come back, but give us another discount before it buys to retest the high price that we had previously. So that is the scenario that I have with the GU.
So for me, but I'm in total agreement with you, by the way. If I drop down to the 1 hour, hope you see my screen. For 4 hours before by there to drop down, actually the previous point where you see like there was an engulfment, by the way. It was more of a morning star, but actually it was an engulfment. So the market engulfed at that point. So that means actually that is a large support zone. The manner is that that zone is still working and it is still holding so much. As you can see, like on the 1 hour chart, you can see like what the market actually did. The market dropped, but that the next session came and took out the whole session. So this candlestick, because it is more, I'll just put on the lowest point of it, I'll put a array to consider that as my support currently. So that is where the hammer started, from lowest point. So if I want to see like if this actually, I'll call this Juma.
Yes.
I'll call this one an hammer because I'll call this one an hammer because it is happening more on a support level. So what I mean actually by an hammer, it is just simple where prices actually, where a session where prices are actually taken down, and during the same session, the buyers actually come back and take the price up higher. So because like this body actually, this week actually is more than 2 times this body. Even if the body is more, like an hammer just signifies that there are bulls in the market. But actually, after seeing an hammer in the market, actually you need a confirmation. For this, actually, the confirmation we needed over here was actually to get buyers closing above this zone, closing above this armor. So that will be a very nice confirmation that we should enter the prices from above here, taking these prices going up higher. But actually, what did the market do? It gave us a doji. So a doji from the market actually signifies mostly that there is indecision in the market. Like indecision is simply to what our penye wanaenda, like the opening and the close is at the same place. Like you can see this market opened here, went to a high point and came down. So this is now a gravestone doji. A gravestone doji actually means that the bulls are buried from that zone. But actually, I've taken this point lower here as my support level. So at one point, 37341, that is my support level. Where I want to see if the market is coming down, I want to see that bounce off back from that place. And if we close below this point, I'm actually looking to short the market to this point over here, low, to that low.
Allow me to share my screen again once more. So guys, Ian is doing a good work. So for him, as he's handling the candlesticks and the technical part, I want to simplify this to us so that I see whether we understand it better. I want to make it very simple. And I always use one analogy, which is price. And when I talk about price, I mean, like I always say, hakuna wakati utaienda kwa supermarket upate ama kwa msee wenye ukuzia kiatu upate kiatu fulani anauza 5k alafu mwambie ai cheki buda hiyo price kuna venye mazee iko down, mi nataka ikifika 7,000 uniite ni buy. It never happens, right? We all want a discount. So
Yeah.
these guys who are buyers wanted to continue with the same trend, but they were like, this price is already high, why am I buying this price? So they do let sellers come in the market and drop the prices up to this area, and by doing that they've already taken out a lot of buyers who had gotten in the market around this price. But yeah, around this place, those who had bought around this place were taken out, and many are left wondering what's going on. I mean, I thought we were buying, and everyone is wondering, I thought we were buying, and now I think this is a sell. I think this is a sell. And once people start selling, there's a likelihood that the market will turn around again and take them out again. And always remember that the loss that you make is someone else's profit, and the profit that you get, someone somewhere has made some losses. This is a market. It's only that we do not interact with each other physically, but this is a market. So there are buyers and sellers here, and in this case we are the buyers. Right now, if you bought when the price is high, then you are taken out. You are going at a loss, which happens even in the real market. But if you waited and the price became lower and you bought, then there's a likelihood that you will sell at a higher price, or the item you are holding will gain value. And that is what exactly is happening around here. So once we breach this area to the downside, we'll be looking for sales. But before we do, we are still in the buyer's territory. We are still holding above this guy. And so there is a likelihood that this guy will come in back stronger. But before then, he has to take out these small guys who have gotten into the market around here and don't know what they are doing. So that is the simple thing I can tell you, so that, I mean, you can relate with. So what's happening right now, these are very big move actually. If you look at it in 1 hour, you realize that these are very big move, right? You can see, look at it, very big move. And this area might retest, and then we get our entry somewhere. Most likely this or the latter. But guys, let's watch out for this. Pardon?
Unaelezeanga vizuri, by the way.
So let's watch out for this area, because if you do not, if you do breach this area, as you can see, this bar, it's a very area. This area is an area of support, a very strong area of support. So how sure are we that we're going to breach downside? That is what I want us to watch. And when you are alone, it's easier to remember what I said, Ama, what we went through in this session, and remember where to bounce back or stop our buying and start selling. So that is it for the GU, I would say. But if you have any questions, just ask. Usiogope maze, hapa tunafanya analysis. Nobody is 100% the best trader. Even the best traders, I think most traders have met the best, get 76% to 90. Even 90 are very few. So when kama your win rate is 76%, then you're a good guy. You're good to go. So that is it for the GU.
Sasa tuingie USD card.
Sijui kama leo mnipata clear.
Huko clear leo, sika jana na juzi.
USD card.
Yeah. If you're not seeing the screen by there, you can tell me.
So guys, remember, like I said, first, if the GU and the EU and the A and the Aussie dollar are selling, we did expect that the USD card will buy. Remember? Because these are opposite of each other. But because we're expecting to return to our buying trend on the rest, then we're also expecting to come back lower to this. So a most likely possibility is that this price will not be able to retest the highest price, but will try to make itself go higher, but will not be able to reach this area. And in turn, it will have given the sellers a discount where the price will be higher and they sell their goods or their currency or whatever they are holding at a higher price. But again, like we said, today we do have card news. So we'll be watching out for that as well and see what the market gives us. Remember, like I always say, the market has its own brains. We just do our part and let the rest to roll out. So for the USD card, we're expecting to go higher a bit, but at the end of the day, we're expecting that we will come down and retest the support area that has given us trouble for long. And if you do come here, there's a likelihood that we'll be able to breach it to the downside. That is what I can say about the USD card, unless Ian, you have an addition or you're looking at it in a different angle.
So like we had a resistance level by the, let me just turn it on your screen.
Yes.
Like the resistance level was the engulfment actually. So the engulfment actually now works so much because if we close above this zone, actually that means that the price actually equal above that place. So as you can see, hapo hivyo tulikuja tukabridge with this other candle hapa hivi, but you can see like the candle is actually now a long-legged one. Like it form a shadow. The buyers actually were in this market until this higher point over here. Like this is just a news. Like news jana ilikuja affect this market sana. Like what only buy, then the market actually sold off back to this lowest point hapo hivyo. Then you can see like how the market is actually reacting. So my current point need to bridge this point over here, or which to actually tushaanza kubridge, but actually now my resistance level ni huko juu. As you can see on the 1 hour, ukiangalia kwa 1 hour venye market ilienda juu, actually got a big candle pia kusell chini. So at the close here, this candlestick, the close hapo juu, the highest point in the market actually imeenda hapo hivyo ndo mimi nitaka is my resistance point, na pia nitakuwa na resistance nyingine huko juu. So like I want to see like what the market is actually going to do at that point. For the USD card, for me it's still very interesting. Na alafu pia tuko na news, bado tuko na news leo.
So let us watch out for the news. But again, guys, remember the reason why we go through this is to give us confidence, to make sure that we understand where we do not understand, to make things a bit clearer. Now, as I always say, sometimes not trading is the best trade that you can ever do. Like for me, for example, for this week, I've not been trading. I've been looking at other materials. I always look at gold, so I can catch up with the gold, the buys and the sells of gold. And again, depending whether I bought, where I did buy where I did get my entry positions on different currencies or different pairs. So I'm looking to buy these ones at the end of the day, the ones that we said we are buying. And sometimes I can wait even for tomorrow. You do not have to have an active trade every day. Sometimes you just need 1 trade per week, 2 trades per week, even sometimes 1 trade in a month, depending on your on what type of a trader you are. So guys, when we get into the market and we leave things pending, we want you to think about them yourself, and also make a decision by yourself, because tomorrow I'll be very busy or I'll not be there for you to hold your hand, but I want you to go there outside and teach someone else to do this very well. That is what we want for you. We want you to become good traders. We do not want to have the knowledge, all the knowledge ourselves. I want one day when I'm very busy, I can call you and ask you, what do you think about the GU? And you'll explain it to me very well. That is the purpose of this. So for now, I suggest that we take a 5 minutes break and then we'll back the same, we'll use the same link to get in back, and then we can finish up with our watch list. That is okay, Ian?
Yeah, perfect.
All right. See you in 5 minutes.